Hello, hello, hello. Good evening, everybody. Hey, Brad, you're number one in here, girlfriend. Absolutely. Good evening, PG. Much love. God bless. Prayers and love for Summer Moon, Utah Wells. Love and prayers for Miss Norway and prayers to everyone in the chat. God bless. Good to see you, girl. Number one. Number two, Carrie. Hey, hey, PG Mod Chat. Good to see you all. Much love. Good to see you too, girl. You know it. Number three. There we go. There we go. Absolutely. Yes. Miss Justice 1111. Much love, PG, and prayers. Hey, girl. Much love and prayers to you. God bless. Good to see you in here. And let's see who is number four. I don't want to. Carrie, you're number four in here tonight, girl. Miss Justice 1111. Hey, lovely. Good to see you. Oh, I'm sure it's good to see you too. God bless. Good to see you, girl. Oh, I was speaking the first part for Miss Justice. I'm sure she loves to see you as well. Then the second part was from me because you know we'd be loving seeing you. Absolutely. If anybody understood what I just said. Right? Even I got lost in the mix of that. Brad, how you doing, sweetie? How you doing? And Brad was, I believe, number one in here tonight. But I appreciate her putting this up as well. Welcome in, everyone. Please hit that thumbs up. And for Summer's channel, let's keep her name and face out here on the streets. Don't forget to sub up, share this live out. Thank you. Amen. I appreciate that, girl. I appreciate him. I got the most awesome mods in here. You guys are amazing. Amazing. Oh, Carrie, that is so lovely. I like that. I really like that, girl. Summer Moon, Utah Wells. Oh, yeah. That's beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Amazing. Hey, Stephanie, how you doing, girl? Good evening, Mama PG. Just in time to cheer me up. Prayers for Summer Moon. Amen. Right? Absolutely. Absolutely. But yes, if you haven't hit the thumbs up, please do. It does help the channel. It does keep these kids out here. It ain't for me. It ain't for PG. It's for these missing kids. It's for the missing kids. So if you haven't hit the thumbs up, the like button, please do. Help these kids out. Keep their faces out here. Regardless, regardless. Even the haters in the bushes, hit the thumbs up. Hit it for the kids, and keep this channel going. I guess the haters really should hit the thumbs up and keep it going, right? Because if it disappeared, they wouldn't have nobody to hate on. Right? Do it for yourself. Right? Do it for yourself. I know I would. I know I would. If I was in the bushes, I'd do it. I'd do it for me. I want to keep you out here. Right? And that's for sure. Hey D, how you doing, sweetie? Hi PG in chat. Hey. Good to see you all. Hey Shy, how you doing? Georgia Wild Child. Anna. Beth Ann, how you doing? Anna, Tommy. Tammy. I'm sorry. I thought that was an O instead of a A. Tammy. Sorry, sweetie. Sorry. Hey PG and Summer's Army. Hey, girl. Yeah, there's their mouth. How you doing, girl? Good to see you in here. Let me get down through here. Starbucks, there you are, Linda. Only eyes for you. Oh, that's beautiful, Stephanie. Absolutely beautiful. God bless. I'm at the bottom. Hey, PG, number 17. Right? Love and prayers to you and all the chat. Hey, girl, God bless. Good to see you in here. Absolutely. anyway, I want to get right to it tonight. And I guess there was somebody. I don't know her. But I guess somebody named Dee Dee has passed away. I'm sorry, but I don't know her. But I did hear where Cher was saying something to Candus about why is so many people, biting the dust around you guys. Right? Whoa. So I guess whoever this Dee Dee was, obviously close and affiliated with Candus. I don't know. If one of you guys know, put a 1 in the chat. I don't know. I don't remember no Dee Dees. Okay, well, everybody over here must not know her either. All right. Hey, Dreamcatcher, how you doing, sweetie? God bless. Hey, just chilling. Hey, PG Chat Mod, Summer's Army Strong. Much love to you. So nobody knows. Nobody knows Dee Dee. Nobody knows if she was around Candus or not. Isn't Dee Dee friends with? Yeah, that's her. That's her, Carrie. That's her. I guess she passed away. And I guess, I guess Cher is suspicious, has some suspicion on this. So I don't know. I'm not, I didn't know the lady. Doing good, Dreamcatcher. How are you doing? Good to see you. I don't know. I'm lost on that one. But I'm not lost when it comes to how many people have seemed to become unlived around Dawn and Candus in this case. People coming unalived, around, seems like Fred Hill, right? Candus and Donald, Hunter. I mean, a lot of people's coming unalived around these main suspects in Summer's case. That's my opinion. I mean, it's really not my opinion. It's the truth. I mean, there's so many people, that was and now isn't, right? So that's really weird. Happy Saturday to you, Tara. How you doing, sweetie? Good to see you. Yeah, so I don't know. I just, I'll do more research into it, right? I'll definitely do more research into it and, see how rooted this particular lady was, with Dawn and Candus. And I definitely check into, how she got taken out of the world. That's for sure too. Hey, Granny's house, how you doing? Hello, PG and everyone. Good to see you. Hon. Much love. Yeah, she supposedly she's no longer with us. That's what I'm hearing. So I don't know. If any of you got more insight, on this than I do, you're always welcome to take the link and come up and, school PG. You can come up and school me on this situation. Because I definitely don't know who this lady was. But, condolences to the family, right? put out our condolences to the family. It's sad. It's sad to, see anybody go out of this world. Yeah, that's, yeah, definitely. Hey, 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 Patty Ponytail. Good to see you, girlfriend. God bless. Hey, almost forgot 56. How you doing, sweetie? Good evening to you. Good evening to you. Kathy, if I ain't said hi tonight, I'm saying it now. God bless. Good to see you, girl. Hey, hey, Lake, how you doing? Hey, PG and chat. Hey, hey, hey to you. Yeah, I thought that was really weird about that Nana's angels, because she said she had something that something really um top secret that she was going to bring to the forefront, and next thing you know, she was gone, right? I mean, we don't even know to this day. We don't even know to this day what that was. But that's, at the time that, she went out of the world, that's what she was saying. She was, she said she had something that she was going to bring out, something really good. And the next, and like next thing we know, she didn't wake up. And that's like really weird. So I don't know. I mean, if you guys knew what I knew about evil human beings, you wouldn't be surprised. You would not be surprised. You wouldn't be surprised what they're capable of. They're capable of some really, really low life, disgusting, evil shit. I'm talking straight up pure evilness and ungodly. I don't know. I don't know who even she was. If you're talking about Dee Dee, Nana's Angels didn't have a deep voice. She just had a regular human voice. I mean, a woman's voice. And that Dee Dee lady, I don't know. I don't know. Stephanie, I think I think they're into that stuff. Absolutely. I think they're into it. Um, you know, uh, I don't, I mean, you know, people get into that witchcraft stuff, that occult stuff, and do, I mean, trust me, their abilities are limited. Their abilities are limited. I wouldn't get into it personally. I wouldn't get into stuff like that. I know people who do. And I see them, they ain't fucking normal. They ain't normal after doing it. Like, they're like 3 sheets in the wind. People that get into that stuff, they're like really weird. And at first they're scared. They're like super cowards. I think cowards get into that stuff. That's my opinion, right? Because because they're too coward to get out. I mean, they're cowards when they get in. They start seeing all the weird stuff and and what goes along with being in that stuff. They're cowards. And then, they're also cowards. They're big cowards when they act like they can't get out because, they're all scared and everything because, they got in with these people and now they're afraid to get out. I mean, they're just a bunch of cowards. And the sad thing is about them is they want to do all this evil and they're going to be, they're going to be put into the wrong place. They're going to, it ain't going to be no party in hell. Trust me, there's going to be no party in hell. And, and I don't think, sitting in a place that's hotter than anywhere on earth and having your tongue cleave to the roof of your mouth and, and just suffer for eternity like that is no picnic. That's my opinion. I don't think it's a picnic, but these are people who, to me, they're cowards. They'll take what they're afraid to lose. They'll take life they'll take life, but they're scared to death of losing theirs. I mean, that's a coward to me. Just saying. And they sneak around and, if that, if they had all that power and everything, then why they gotta physically go and do dirty shit? That's my question. That's just my question. I don't think their hocus pocus bullshit really works because they got to physically go sneaking around and doing dirty deeds, or get other people to do dirty deeds for them. So, that hocus pocus shit, they ain't doing nothing. They ain't doing nothing by magic. Trust me. Other than, something about those people stink too. Something about them smells really bad. They always smell bad. Just saying. That's my opinion. Yeah, I don't remember no DDs, to be honest with you. Yeah, they say that she did. I don't know. I have no idea. Um, I don't know. I'm going to tell you, there is so many ways. There's so many ways to unlive human beings. So many ways to make it look like something else. There's just too many ways. If you really want, somebody out of your life, it ain't hard. It ain't hard to do it. That's for sure. And to be perfectly honest with you, hospitals always looking for natural causes. They ain't hardly, I mean, like, unless there's like 5 or 6 people passing away the same way, then finally they might look into, something else besides natural causes. But, and then they'll start exhuming the other 10, that was around this person seems to be passing away the same way. And, it takes a long time. Hospitals really do not, they're, it's kind of like law enforcement in Tennessee. They they don't handle missing children's cases as, you know, as a crime scene from the word go. And missing children's case, any missing human's case should be treated like a crime scene from the word go. It really should. Okay, if they wandered off, great, but let's keep all the evidence in contact until we know. Until we know it's just something silly like the child wandered off or something. But let's keep all the evidence, in contact in case it is a crime scene. You'll be glad you did. Hospitals the same way. They need to, not just look at natural causes. They need to venture out that it may not be natural. They need to go that extra mile and see if this possibility it was anything else. I mean, because there's a lot of stuff that don't show up in hair or nails or blood, but it will show up with a spinal tap. A spinal tap is like, it'll give you a rundown of everything that's been in the system practically back to day one, to birth. It'll give you a real rundown. And and they should do those rundowns to make sure it wasn't foul play. That's my opinion, because there's a lot of foul play going on out here in this world, right? But the family can request that, and if you request it, they have to do it. And and if it is foul play, then somebody needs to go to prison. But it's a good idea. It's a good idea to have surveillance. Surveillance tells all. It's a good idea to keep surveillance in your house, your kitchen, your dining room, because you can always watch someone through the camera, right? You can watch people through the camera. If someone does something, you'll see it. I like surveillance. She said PG was Del Terry. Ain't that funny? That is straight up hilarious. I know. I'm afraid PG definitely. Man, I tell you what, if I had a beautiful grandchild, you think for 5 seconds PG would take that grandbaby anywhere near the freaking wells? Do you think that one of my grandchildren would ever be in the freaking midst of those evil people? Oh, hell no. Hell no. My ass wouldn't be in the midst of them, let alone any of my children. And if I had grandchildren, hell no. Hell no. That woman had a beautiful little granddaughter, and I don't know what she was doing up there with it. That was insane. Matter of fact, she almost lost it. She almost lost that baby for her daughter by doing something as ignorant as that. So hell no. But it is funny. I've been so many people. I have to look at my driver's license just to make sure that I am who I am. Right? I've had so many damn aliases. And the sad thing is, I didn't even give them to myself, right? I haven't I haven't even had the pleasure of using them, right? I haven't been able to use them. but I sure have been called them. Ain't that the truth? Ain't that the truth, Stephanie? You girlfriend, you got that right. You don't have to bring those up there. I heard there's already plenty of them running around, according to Allison. From what Allison said, man, those things were coming across the floor bigger than your foot. That's some scary shit right there. Ain't that the truth, deputy? God bless. Right? I didn't even let their minds wander there. Amen. Right? Arthur and Martha. All right. Hey, listen, you guys. What's that guy's name? Um, oh shit. Oh, I can't remember it. I'm trying. It's right. You ever have something right there, but it ain't coming completely through. Alfred. That's right, Alfred. That's supposed to be my husband. My husband's supposed to be Alfred. Right? Hurry up, Alfred. It's almost tea time. That's some funny shit right there. Oh shoot. Oh God. Hey, Grasshopper. Good to see you, hun. Hello, everyone. Hello, hello. Yeah. I don't know. I just find it really weird. I just find it super weird that people are just, like, whoa. I mean, one day they're here, the next day they gone, right? And surrounding this case, surrounding these people. I mean, I remember Nana's Angels. I believe she went up there on Ben Hill Road too, right? Am I correct? Put a one in the chat if I'm correct. I believe she did go up there visiting up with Don and Candus. And I'm pretty sure she did. That she had went to Tennessee up there, um up there, hanging with those people. I'm pretty sure she did. And yeah, I'm gonna tell you, bad stuff happens to people that go around them. I'm gonna tell you something. Um you shouldn't be going around hugging up with these people like that. You really shouldn't. I happened to be somewhere. Um I happened to be somewhere um one time, and I watched this woman. She was Now these people didn't know each other. They did not know each other. Um it was this lady, and then there was this other woman, and she was there with somebody, some family or something. And this woman um somehow started interacting with this other lady who had, like I said, had family. She was there with family. And I was just basically, I was there with some family as well, but I was, just sitting back. I didn't know none of these people. I didn't know, this woman that started talking to these people she don't know. And I don't know the people, she was talking to. I didn't know either group, either side of that. So I was more, just observing what, sitting and just, how you set places. You just look around, no matter where I'm at. I, you know, I'm always scanning, my surveillance. I'm always, I like to know my surroundings. So I'm always scanning, and surveillancing where I'm at, what's going on, so forth and so on. And anyway, I was just, like I said, kick back, taking notes. And this woman, like I said, she struck up, somehow she struck up this conversation with these people she don't know and everything. And, this is kind of a scary ass story, to be honest with you. Because this woman, when I first saw her, the one woman, I first saw her, I was thinking, whoa, I got this bad vibe. You know what I'm saying? You ever see people get a bad vibe? I don't want to talk to you. Don't come near me. Don't want nothing to do with it. Back off type thing. That's the vibe I was getting. The other people, they seem to be good folk. And I wouldn't mind them sitting at my table. That's what I'm saying. They were good folks, and they gave me no bad vibes whatsoever. They's just good, down to earth, good folks. And anyway, this woman goes, she gets with them, talking with them, and all this stuff, and a little too chummy. And when these people were ready to leave, before they left, she hugs this woman. But what this woman don't know is that lady is winding up some of her loose hair off the back of her, winding up some loose hair in her hand and taking it. And I'm like, what the fuck is she doing? Right? And I mean, she was, she was literally taking some of this lady's hair, as she, act like she's hugging her. And I thought that was really fucking creepy and weird that she would steal this lady's hair, right? She wanted that hair for something. And I don't know what that something is, but I'm going to tell you, that lady stayed the hell away from me. Right? Exactly. That's exactly what I thought too, Stephanie. And I had a real bad feeling about that woman. When I seen her, I was like, whoa, but she did. She really did it. And she was up, I think she was up to no good. I think she's trying to put some shit on somebody else. And considering the place we were at, I think she was trying to put some shit on someone else. And I was like, whoa, I'm going to tell you, those kind of people don't like PG. Those kind of people don't like to sit down and talk with PG. Ask me a question, you're going to get the damn truth. Right? You're going to get the damn truth. I know what happens when, I'm going to tell you, I know what happens when people lie to them witches. All right? I know exactly what happens. I've seen some shit firsthand. I have seen some shit go down firsthand. I'm like, whoa. Yeah, it's freaking, it's weird. It's really weird. But I'm not up here to school people on freaking weirdos that do weird shit. But I tell you what, be careful. You don't know somebody, don't let the motherfucker be hugging you. They go to hug you, step back like, I rather, shake hands. I don't like get that, I ain't the huggy Philly type person, sorry. You need to stay in your own fucking bubble, man. Don't be trying to come over here and get in my bubble. You know, you got to tap it. All right. ain't no, ain't gonna be none of that shit. Okay. Well, Fred, he wants to, talk about how he believes that Candus was down there possibly putting Summer in the septic tank, right?
See, Candus was seen that day walking off this driveway. One of my friends, he come to see me that day, and I was gone. That was before the law come in the holler. And she was walking off my driveway before Summer was reported missing. And then when about septic tanks, I got thinking, well, I grabbed the septic tank on top of the hill up there. They got talking about her popping in the septic tank or something there, and I got thinking, what if he put her in that damn septic tank? What am I going to do,
What are you going to do? Well, if you think that she did that, why didn't you go down there and tell law enforcement, hey, this woman was coming off my property right before y'all got here. I think she might have stuck that child, down in the septic tank down here. And why didn't you take them down there and show them the tank that you thought she might have put Summer in? Why didn't you do that? Why talk about it later when you didn't do nothing at the beginning, right? You done nothing at the beginning. So why mention it now? Right? Right? That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah. Everything goes through your head.
Yeah, because there is a septic tank. Yeah.
It is. It's crazy. See, I've done septic tanks before I built a house.
Shoot, you want to talk about somebody floating in the air? I tell you what. You want to talk about somebody floating in the air? I'm going to tell you. Do you guys remember? Do you remember when Donald, I got him real pissed off or something? You remember that? He got real upset for what I was saying. And he tried to go live in that hotel. And then he turns the camera and I turns that camera and faces Candus. She's over there by this bed and he turns the camera on her. And she's just like floating in freaking midair. Like, oh my gosh, it was creepy weird, right? It was like, whoa, that don't look normal, because she wasn't sitting on the bed or anything. She was completely off the bed, like just floating back there in midair. Her feet were all, it was, wow. Yeah, still messing up my fragile little mind, right? I'm like, what the hell was that? It was like, whoa, I ain't ever seen no shit like that before. And trust me, I've seen some stuff. I have seen some things, man, straight up. You guys don't even know. I've seen a lot of stuff, but I ain't seen nothing like that. That was weird. That looked like some Houdini shit. I was looking for the cables. I was looking for the cable, seeing what the hell she extending from. All right. I was like, what the heck? She looked like Pinocchio back there on strings. I was like, what the heck is going on there? It was cray. Oh, I'm going to tell you something. There definitely is, Tammy. Absolutely. I'm going to tell you right now. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Trust me. No, no, no doubt. No doubt. I'm going to tell you. I was at this place one time. Straight up. I was at this place one time. And this person, they was leaving the world. They was on their way out, right? And I happened to be there. And I'm going to tell you, and this is no lie. This is no lie at all. This is not even funny. Straight up. But they were on their way out of this world. And I happened to be there. And next thing I know, something came up like this sting. Like there was a sting. And and this person was pretty bad. This person was pretty, they wasn't the best person in the world. They was pretty damn bad, to be honest with you. And next thing I know, this thing tries to come out of them. Straight up, I seen it. I wasn't the only one that saw it. I wasn't the only one. I mean, I had to confirm that shit. I had to confirm it. Because, I was like, whoa, what the hell did I eat for lunch, right? It was pretty weird. But this thing tried to, try to come out. And at a very, at a powerful force, coming out. And I'm going to tell you what, man, the only thing I could think of was, whoa, oh God, in heaven, you know what I'm saying? Lord of mercy. Your mind goes straight to the Lord when you see things like this. And, I'm quick to pray, baby. I am very quick to pray. The feet don't fail me now. But anyway, and what I don't know, I don't know exactly what it was, but in my opinion, it was a it was that evil spirit that person had been feeding all those years. And that's my opinion. I think it was that demon that they had been feeding all those years that took hold of them. Your demon can get bigger than you. Evil spirits are like addictions. If you start thinking it's cute and funny to feed them, oh yeah, I like doing bad stuff. Me and you, girlfriend, we're partners in crime. Hey, girlfriend, let's go out clubbing, and take people we don't even know back home. Hey, girlfriend, let's do, let's lie on this person or that person, and or let's go cause trouble with that girl over there. She thinks she's something. Let's cause trouble with her. He, ha, ha, ha. I'm gonna tell you what, you're feeding that evil. You're feeding that evil. Let's go and let's go and do something ugly to that person over there because we just don't like them. We don't care about them. Or hey, if I could do something bad to them, if I could do something bad to them, I maybe self-gain from it or whatever, you get that person out of the picture. You could have this or you could have that. And you think that, that shit's okay, that shit's funny, that, you got some kind of power in this world or whatever. No. What you got is a ticket to Hades. That's what you got. And what you're doing is you're feeding that thing, and it's going to get bigger than you. It's going to get bigger than you. And like an addiction, people think, oh, if I can do this and quit anytime I want, and then they find out that they're doing anything, they're willing to do anything to get it. And that's the same way it is with that demon. You start to like your ugly evilness. You start to think, that's the way to go, or you feel that you have to go that way because maybe you got into some weird shit. I don't know. But all I got to say is, man, I'm going to tell you, I was there. And when this person was going out of the world, that thing tried to flee them. It tried to flee them straight up. And that's, and who was going to go to Hades? Who was going to go to Hades? Because that thing's going to come out. That thing's going to get loose. It's going to look for someone else to house up. And who's going to go to Hades by feeding it all those years? Your backside. Because that thing ain't going to Hades with you. I firsthand seen whatever that thing was trying to get out of there. And I got, and honestly, I got the fuck out of there. I got out of there. I was like, I ain't going back. No way. No way. I got to go. And, but yeah, that's straight up truth. I ain't never seen nothing like that. That was, yeah. But it happened. It happened. Oh yeah, it had the form of a human. I mean, it's like this face. It was like this face trying to come out of the face. It was the form of the person. It was the form of them trying to come out. And I'm going to tell you, it was the color of midnight. That's the color it was. It was the color of midnight. Yep. Straight up. I seen it. I seen that. It actually came way out, like not a little bit out. It came way out. It definitely came out. And I'm going to tell you, I started praying and I seen it go back. And I got out of there. I was like, that thing's trying to get loose. I'm the hell out of here. I ain't going to be in here when that thing comes out. Straight up. I don't even know. I don't know what it was. I don't care what it was. That thing was like, whoa. Straight up. Not gonna lie. Yeah. That was insane. I'm gonna tell you. I'm like, whew. I'm gonna tell you, I've been through some tragedies. All right. I've been through some tragic shit. Trust me. For real. I'm like, man, you went out of this world. You gotta go on your own. PG can't be there. PG cannot be there. You got to go on your own. Unless I know you're a really good person, I ain't gonna be there. I can't do round 2 of that shit. Once was enough, right? Once was enough. Hey, I can't do round 2, you guys. Only way I'm going back into a room where somebody's leaving this world is if I know for sure they're a good person, then I wouldn't care to be there. But you a bad person? Shoot. I'll tell you what. I don't know. I guess I won't be seeing them again. Right? I guess I won't be seeing. I'm trying to get to the good place. I ain't even going to see them on the flip side because that's, I don't want to be on that side. That ain't the side I want to go. Yeah. I'm going to tell you, just chilling around the block, honey, I've been around that a few times. Right? One trip wasn't enough. Right? One trip wasn't enough. I've been around the fucking block a few times. One too many. Trust me. One too many.
Thank you.
My septic thing over here, and the leaves do whatever, you know.
It is exposed. It's how it's pretty easy to get to.
Yeah, this driveway goes right by it up there. If you're going up on the hill, up there was the house. We were somewhere, and somebody mentioned that, you know, that she said that, or Dawn or somebody said that she'd put her in the septic tank, and I was like, that bitch better not put her.
Wow.
I think that's what I was thinking, you know.
Why didn't he contact law enforcement? Why didn't he contact law enforcement? Because that came out right after Summer went missing. And I know exactly where it came from.
Well, I called TBI Friday, and I had told them some stuff that I remembered back in August that my dad had told me about, I don't know, a month or so after Summer went missing. And so I called TBI and let them know, and then they let the head agent or whoever he was, they let him know, and then he called me back today. And I told him about what my dad had said. My dad had told me that Donnie told him that he didn't trust Candus, and that he thought that she put Summer down the septic tank clean out on the property.
That's where it came from. And that was right after Summer came up missing. Like Mary and her sisters and them, they was on it day one. They was out. I mean, they came out ASAP. They came out as fast as Allie came out. They came out as fast as, you know, a lot of the other people did. They were, you know, they were out here day one on telling, you know. So if Fred felt that Candus did that, why did he not contact law enforcement? Well, I mean, they were right there on the damn road. They was right there with him. He could have went up and talked to him, said, hey, you know, I think you need to look down here, because that's where she was. You know, that's where she was right after she got home, was down around my place. I don't know what she may have did down there, but you need to come down and look around, see what she possibly could have did. I mean, I think they would have had no problem being all over his place. But the reason he didn't is, one, because he's got a dog in the race. Two, because he had stuff he didn't want them seeing, right? He can't have law enforcement all over his place. He was a freaking, you know, an illegal, not only, you know, distributor, but an illegal user. And last thing he wanted, you know, these people were all about protecting their ass. They weren't about a 5-year-old missing little girl. None of these people had a conscience. They didn't have a conscience enough to clean everything up long enough to try to help this little girl, right? They could have cleaned their shit up long enough to try to help her, to help Summer. They didn't care. They weren't about to clean up anything. You know, these people didn't give a crap enough to clean their asses up to keep their own children. So they definitely didn't care about nobody else's, right? I mean, if you don't clean your ass up enough to keep your own kids, you know, why would you care about someone else's child? That would be insane, right? That would be totally insane to care about somebody else's kid more than you would care about your own. And that's how those people think. You know, that's their mind frames right there. I ain't even got my own kids. Why do I care about somebody else's? Just this world sucks. Trust me. I don't think they did. I don't think they did, to be honest with you. I don't think they put her in no septic tank. I think Summer is straight across the road, straight across the street, in a black tote down underneath that Timothy Morrison's grave. I think if they want to find Summer, that's where they need to go looking. That's exactly where they need to look. It's Timothy Morrison's grave. That's my opinion. I'm going to keep it. And maybe the new sheriff, will have something done and find her, bring her out of there and prosecute the shit up out of all of these people, who have been playing games and lying this whole time. Maybe we'll see them all get prosecuted up. I mean, that's what I hope. That's my hope.
Yeah, it's right there.
Right.
Tom, do you know who a Chad Arnold is?
Yes, I do.
And so somebody asked me. Said,
Yeah, Chad Arnold was married to. No, he didn't die.
Why have they not ever checked out anything in this case? Well, I'm going to tell you, there's many reasons. There's many reasons they haven't done anything in this case. One, in my opinion, this is my opinion. Law enforcement down there in those areas are just lazy as hell. That's my opinion. They're just butt freaking lazy. And two, I don't think, in my opinion, I don't believe that they're too educated. I don't think that law enforcement is very educated at all. I think, a bunch of backwood boys that are just lazy, looking for a paycheck, and I don't think they really care, to be honest with you. I think these people, are born and bred, just like Fred Hill and Andy Bernard and Jody Sues and the rest of these people. And I think that, and they really just don't give a freak about nobody or nothing. That's my opinion. And I also think that, Summer's case came at a bad time. I think it came at a time when Ronnie Lawson's son was, caught up in exactly what was going on Ben Hill Road, in my opinion. And, how can he prosecute people? How can he prosecute people for what he's trying to get his son out of? Does that make sense? That's my opinion.
I thought he died.
Not that I'm aware of, anyway. But Chad Arnold was at Fred Hill's house when Candus was looking for Summer. She drove back in a holler to Fred Hill's house.
Hey, Candy, how you doing, sweetie? Hey, yeah, I stopped everything up here to say hello to you, girlfriend. When you come in here, you get the good treatment. You get the good treatment. I'm going to stop and say hello to you. Absolutely.
And Chad Arnold was hanging out back there. I've been to Chad Arnold's house before, and he had all kinds of people hanging out in his shed.
Was he a cracky?
Is he what?
Was he like a meth head like Fred Hill?
Yes. Chad Arnold loves his meth. Yes, he does. I went to visit him. Chad Arnold trains horses and stuff. He's really good at that. But he loves his methamphetamines.
That's
Is he a offender or anything? Is he on the registry?
Not that I'm aware of.
Because I did see quite a few around there whenever I looked. I pulled it up, you know.
I went to his wife's house and visited with Chad Arnold a few times for various reasons, trying to get truck parts or whatever. And yeah, he's definitely showed me some big pieces of yeah, he's definitely into that stuff.
Did Fred Hill act like he had something like schizophrenia or something?
Yeah, he has meth-induced schizophrenia.
I was
Yes.
going to
Yeah,
say,
I've heard of that
I've
part.
heard that. I have too. Yeah. It's almost like psychosis from meth. It causes
Yo,
psychosis and a
If
exactly.
somebody's already predisposed to getting
disposed,
it, it
yeah,
actually
causes
pushes
it
it
to set off.
along. Some people
Yeah.
can have it their whole life and not get the side effects from it, but the drugs can push it to it.
That's
Yeah, I've
right.
seen a difference in people because some people don't act the same on that stuff. You know, you can see some people on that like they completely lost their daggone mind. Like, I mean, you know, like
Do
in
you
another
think
whole
Chad
fellow
Cotton and
over.
Fred took some, or somebody just asked me that question?
I have no clue. But it's just like Dudley. That weekend, I guess he went and done dope all weekend. He showed up Monday. And I guess I
Hey,
fired him
Robin.
Monday or Tuesday. I don't remember.
Broke one wing.
I can't deal with that stuff. He said I ripped him off for money and everything else. He's lying.
Oh yeah, well he lied too on that interview.
Yes,
Whenever he tried
ma'am.
to act like he was such a good, upstanding guy,
And
you know.
and we've seen that, you know, everybody that has been mentioned has went down for
Yep.
Yes,
some
sir.
crazy
Yes,
shit.
sir.
Yep.
So
Yes, sir.
sort of
And
what everybody has talked about.
I'm not claiming I'm an angel because I'm not.
None of us are.
No,
I'm not.
no, I mean nobody is
We
saying
all
that
fall
you are.
short.
I mean,
No, I just want to make that clear with y'all. I'm no angel. I'm trying.
none of us are, dog.
I'm trying, but it's so hard.
Trust me, we all fall short. I showed my ass yesterday. I ain't even gonna lie. I did.
He's
Ron,
hiding
how do
right
you feel
now.
about Andy and Jody Sue?
I don't
How do you
think
feel about Andy?
I don't think Andy had anything to do with anything, but I will say that Jody Sue is the biggest nutcase I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah. Why didn't she like y'all living there? Or why didn't she want people to sell the property around there?
We've done everything we could to help Jody Sue. Even my private investigators went up and moved all her crap for her. Drove up that steep ass hill with his 4-wheel drive and moved all his stuff out of there. She tried to give us some a cigarette machine and some other stuff, and we was like, no, that's not right. That's your husband's probably or whatever. We don't want it. And she was just trying to be mean to Andy or whatever way. But our private investigators moved her crap for her out of the kindness of their hearts. Candus went up there and helped her out of the kindness of her heart and everything else. And we barely know her, and why she turned on us and said all this crazy stuff is beyond us. Other than trying to start her own YouTube channel or whatever, I don't,
Maybe get back at her husband and just y'all
yeah.
was just the side effect of it.
All these haters just come out the woodwork like cockroaches. It's
Is it
crazy.
how about that other guy? What was his name? That he's a real bad dude. The one that got in trouble for
Don Sherfy.
yeah, that Sherfy go because wasn't he friend
Yeah.
with Brandon Lawson too?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know them people. All I know is Don Sherfy Sr. got with my stepdad's sister and had something going with her that I'm not aware of whatsoever. And why he turned on us or why Mary my stepdad's sister Mary turned on us, I have no clue. I know my mother when she was alive told Mary that she was going to get the property. The property.
Now he's lying. Don Wells is lying. Mary, which is old Mr. Goad's sister. She was the one that took care. She took care of Don's mother. When Don's mother got sick, her and some of the church ladies would go over and take care of Donald's mother. Even when Candus and Don was there, they would go over and bring her food and watch over and take care of her. And Don's mother told them that Don and Candus were a nightmare. They are the ones that was told by Don's mother that Don would turn on the music and play it real loud, and she would ask him to stop and turn it down, and he'd turn it up even more. And he was, they were very cruel to her, very bad to her in her last days. And she wished she wouldn't have ever let him come there. She wished she wouldn't have let Don ever come there once she did. So he's lying. He is lying on this woman. He's, and Don Scherfy was a sheriff. He was a sheriff there at the jail. He was a sheriff at the jail. And he quit to become a truck driver because he can make more money and it was less strenuous, working on the road than it was actually. And Don Scherfy was telling a lot of, the truth about what was going on. And John Scherfy and his girlfriend, Mary's daughter, they were the ones, that told about Jody Sue being all over Mary's property, actually back behind her property where one of the footprints was found that belonged to Summer. And Jody Sue was back there running around. They asked her, they said, "What are you doing back here all over our property?" And she was on the other man's property too. The footprint was found between Mary's place but more on the other man's place. That's behind Mary. And so, and Jody Sue was out there. She was out there all over that particular area. And when they asked her why she was all over their property, she said that she was looking for clinking metal, that she heard clinking metal. And she wanted to know if they had any metal on their property, talking about some damn clinking metal stuff. And they told her they was going to, and she was trying to refuse to leave. And they told her that if you do not leave, we're calling law enforcement, which they did. They called law enforcement. And Jody Sue got the hell out of there. She ran like hell and didn't stick around once they, made the 911 call and told police to come out there because this woman, is running all over their property and they want law enforcement there now. And so law enforcement came out and actually, checked over the property because, they were scared that she's trying to plant something on their property. And it could have been a footprint. Who knows with these people? Who knows? But anyhow, the point being is, for a long time, I thought that she might have been running around with the foot, to be honest with you. I don't know. I wouldn't doubt it. I would not doubt it. But, but she was out there where one of the footprints was found. And that is true. Before they found it, she was out there all over it. And they also, at that time, the woman he's talking about, Mary, she invited law enforcement into her house. She invited law enforcement into her house and asked them to, to look around inside of her home because she don't want this crazy lady ever coming back. She wants them to check, the inside and outside of her home. And they did, and before they left. And they didn't hear nothing else from Jody Sue. But Jody Sue was over there. And these people were telling the truth. Don, Don don't like the truth to be told. He doesn't, these people hate the truth, and they do nothing but lie. They try to, take down a human's character. Don likes to, paint a shitty picture of people, take down their character, because he thinks that, by taking down their character is going to make him look good. And, and only a damn fool would fall for that. When people talk as bad about other people as Don and Candus does, as bad as all these people up on Ben Hill, all these suspects want to, if you take note, all these suspects want to sit around and put other people's character down. Why? Because their mother freaking character is freaking scum of the earth as well. Their character is as low as it can get, and they damn know it. They're all sliding on their asses. Trust me, they're all sliding on their asses. They ain't one of them that ain't got the back of their britches wore out, right? Every last one of them. And so that's what they do. That's what they do. Is try to tear down someone else's character in order to make theirs shine, trying to get your sympathy and all of this, that's a bad person. And I'm going to tell you, don't fall for that shit. When people come to you and they say bad stuff about someone else, do yourself a favor and either stay neutral, or get to know the other person if you're going to try to take a side. Don't take the side of an evil person, because when you take the side of evil people like Don and Candus, like Jody Sue's and Andy's, like Fred Hill's and Laura's, when you take sides with these evil human beings, I'm going to tell you what, you're following them straight where they're going. You're no better. You're no better than they are. You're going to the same place. What they did is they just put you on that big, wide road to Hades, and you're walking right beside of them and don't even know it. Stay away from them type of people. When they want to say a bunch of ugly stuff about someone, go get to know that other someone, because I bet you 10 to 1 that other someone's going to be a lot better person and a lot better friend, and probably the better type of person you want to be around than the shit that's trying to get you, like Don and Candus, get you to stand beside them and go into Hades with them. I don't mess with people like that. A lot of people, I know that people, want to take sides with, they want to take sides with one side or another side. I've learned that, if you're going to take a side, at least take the side, the less of the two evil. Find out which one is the less of the two evil and go with that one. That, that's my opinion. You got to look up and say, well, it's like, there's always, my opinion when it comes to, politics, for instance, I don't think there is, like a wrong side or right side. I think there's just a less of the two evil side, right? And that's the side I take. That's the one I vote for. I vote for the less of the two evil. The ones that I think, might still have some godliness in them. That's the way I go. I'd like to take, nothing but godly people's side, but in some areas of life, there's not there's not full godliness. Sometimes you know, you're making a choice. You're basically making a choice of the less of two evils. That's my opinion. You know, but for the most part, I try to stay out. I try to stay out of you know, the middle of all that kind of stuff for myself. That's, you know, the way I rather do it. It's just, you know, not take no side at all. I don't like taking sides. You know, that's probably not good. It's probably not good unless you're, you know, unless you're it's hard, you know, when you're up on this panel, you got to be very careful, right? You got to pick wise choice of words. But you know, I stick with God. I stick with His Son Jesus Christ. I stick with, you know, the Holy Spirit, the angels who watch around over us. I try to stick with you know, pure righteousness. I like pure righteousness. You're not going to, you know, on this earth, we're not going to find pure righteousness because none of us are Jesus, right? None of us, we ain't even worthy. We ain't even worthy to touch his, you know, to touch his sandals, let alone his robe, you know. So the point being is none of us are completely, you know, none of us are Jesus Christ. None of us are 100% righteous. That's what I'm trying to say. And who am I to judge? Who am I to judge someone else? I mean, if somebody comes up to me and tells me how evil someone is and all of these things, you know, like the Wells, for instance, you know, come up and tell me all this stuff, which Don did about Andy and Jody Sue's and all of this, you know, but I try to do my homework. I try to find out, you know, I try to find out the truth. And the truth revealed itself. You know, the Jody Sue popped up and you know, and the whole truth came out. And the more you stick out here, you know, the more you just observe people, the more you're going to learn. And you know, and you know, if you ask me, which is the two, what is the less evil between the Wells and the Bernards? There ain't none. There's not one. And to be honest with you, one's just as bad as the other. The same way with Fred and Laura, just as bad as the rest. You know, in that group, you're not going to find a less of the two evils. Because they're all just evil people. They're all lying. They're all, you know, none of them cared about this little girl. None of them cared to save Summer. None of them tried. They all knew what was going on, and not a damn one of them did anything to save this little girl. Matter of fact, from what I'm hearing, they was all contributing. They was all contributing to why Summer had to disappear in the first place. So how are you going to find a less of the two evils there? You're not. They were all evil. And that's why them babies was getting so abused up there. They were getting so used and so abused because all of these people surrounding them were just pure freaking, you know, selfish, self-centered, self-seeking, evil human beings. You're not going to find a less evil there. And, you know, this ain't the first situation I've seen where you ain't going to find, you know, a less evil. But I know how evil people operate. And evil people like them want to suck people like us in and try to feed us a bunch of bullshit and try to get us to, you know, to advocate for their evil asses, right? They're looking for people like us to advocate for their evil asses. I'm not advocating for no evil ass human being. Absolutely not. I don't advocate for evilness. I advocate for righteousness. That's what I'm trying to say. I'm not going to listen to these people who want to, put somebody else's character down, like Mary, which was over there doing righteous by Dawn's mother, and the women at the church who was over there feeding her and taking care of her and listening to, her in her darkest hours because of Dawn and Candus. Listening to her, and you know how hard it is to listen to a person that you care about, someone you love. Do you know how hard it is to listen that they're being abused by two assholes they let move into their home and mistreating them? Do you know how hard that is? Do you know that how many hours that you might sit in a chair and worry, that you might wake up worrying about them? You don't want to know that someone that has been so good for many years to you and your community, you don't want to hear that all of a sudden two evil people have showed up and putting this person through a lot of stuff they shouldn't have ever had to go through. You don't want to listen to it. You don't want to hear it. But I'm going to tell you something. Mary had to hear it. But here Dawn is sitting and putting this poor woman down that done nothing to no one but good-hearted things over the years. She didn't want Dawn's damn property. She didn't want Dawn's property. She had plenty of property of her own. She had more property than she could take care of anyway. And I'm sure that all of you, I think all of you understand that more is not better. That more is not better. I think we all know that a bigger house means more work. I think we all know that more land means more work. I mean, you can only take care of so much, and she had plenty of her own to take care of. She wasn't wanting anything else. He's so full of crap.
Property that we have now. And my mother told me that, that Mary and her husband Cecil and all them, worked for her hourly, and she led them along, and they thought they was going to get the property, and they was.
His mother did not lead anyone alone into believing anything. Now he's making his mother look bad, right? Now he's even trying to make his own mother look like a monster. Oh, my mom, bullshitted these people along so they'll, take care of her and do all this stuff. And, she just used and abused these people. Don's trying to make himself feel better for coming there and putting his mother through the hell and torturous shit that he did. Him and that sick woman he had with him, Candus freaking Bly Wells, right? That's what it is. Matter of fact, I don't even want to listen to him no more. I don't even want to listen to him. I mean, what he's saying is bullshit. It's all bullshit other than, Chad Arnold was down at Fred's house. Candus told him, yeah, Chad's down there. So Don confirms Chad being at Fred's house as well. June 15th, 2021. Laura, the day that Summer came up missing, was you at home or was you with Fred?
I was with Fred. We was hauling cars.
You were hauling cars that day? And
yep.
So Chad was at your property?
He come in while we was going to the crusher. And he seen Candus at the end of the driveway. And he said that we started up a hill, and she turned around and looked at him and said,
now, Laura confirms that Chad was down there with Candus too. Laura confirms that Chad Arnold was at her place, hers and Fred's place, with Chad Arnold. But also, Laura confirmed right there that Fred is a freaking liar about hauling motorcycles, right? Fred's a big fat liar about hauling motorcycles. I mean, first, put a one, please, put a one in the chat if you heard Fred Hill say, I hauled a motorcycle for a guy. I went out. I couldn't haul no cars because of Andy and his shenanigans inside Ben Hill Road that day. So I ended up going out of the holler, but there was a guy. I met up with a guy whose motorcycle was on the side of the road. I don't know him, but I went back and got my trailer. I came and I loaded his bike up. I took him to a gas station, and I didn't ever see him again. I don't know him, but I didn't ever see this guy again. I don't know who he was, whose bike, it's just, I did a good deed. Right? And I don't know the guy. Okay. Put a 2 in the chat if you've heard Fred Hill say, oh, yeah, I knew the guy that I hauled the motorcycle for. And not one motorcycle. He had 2 motorcycles. I don't know where he got those motorcycles, but he had 2 motorcycles, and he wanted me to help him. So I ended up loading up these motorcycles for him and taking them to somewhere. And yeah, I do know the guy. His name is such and such. Brandon. I think it's Brandon Clark or something like that. I do know this guy. Yeah. And then put a 3 in the chat if you just recently heard Fred Hill say, oh, yeah, I hauled a motorcycle for a guy I didn't know to the gas station. But I also hauled a motorcycle for Brandon Clark as well. I came back and he was broke down. No. Yeah, he was broke down, and I hauled a motorcycle for him too. So he hauled the motorcycle, one for someone he don't know, and then came back and hauled one for someone he did know. So now this mother freaker is, what the fuck? I'm going to tell you what, this mother freaker got you questioning yourself. He got you ass questioning yourself. What the fuck? I mean, like your head spinning, right? Your head spinning. You're like, did I motherfucking hear this right? Am I hearing all of this? He will jumble up your mother freaking head, right? Like you can't get it straight. Like, what the hell did this dude do? Did he take somebody to a mother freaking thing? I mean, and first they said they was hauling cars. First they said they were hauling vehicles. And they made it to the crusher. Then they didn't make it to the crusher. And then they got to the store. The only thing that stayed consistent was that they did stop and get some shit they needed before coming back into Ben Hill Road. That's the only thing I heard that stayed consistent in all of this shit. So, why don't old Freddy boy, why doesn't he, tell the mother freaking truth, dude? Because you can't be hauling, there's no way in fucking hell you can be hauling a man with one motorcycle, dropping him off somewhere where you don't even know him and haven't ever seen him again. And, and then went to the store, got you some gas, went to the damn store and came back. And that's when you found out Summer was missing. And then you said, you can't be doing that plus hauling 2 motorcycles for someone you do know and then getting something and coming back. And then you said, and your ass left out of there late. You left out of there late is what you told everybody. Right? No, he didn't see you, Andy, because you were at work. I called your work, and I actually played the boss telling me, the guy at your work. I played him telling me that you was at work. You were there. I literally called him and said, Andy Bernard said it's okay to call you, and asked you if he was at work on June 15th, 2021. And the man said you were. So you weren't there. And I don't believe you were there anyway. I don't believe you were there anyway because, to be honest with you, I think it was your ideal for Don Wells to drive the Subaru because you know vehicles. And I think it was your ideal for Don Wells to drive that Subaru for the Starlink in it so that he would have an extra alibi. And I think you drove Jody Sue's, which had GPS, so that you would have an extra alibi and stabilized at work as well. I think you and Don were stabilized at work. Because that was already planned. That was already planned out for you guys to hide that your asses at work while all that shit went down. And that's my opinion. I'm going to keep it. So I know you weren't on the road. Fred Hill's talking a lot of shit. But I'm going to tell you what. Come tomorrow night. I got some information. And I'm going to bring it forth, this show that's going to prove that Laura's ass was right at her house that day. Laura's ass didn't go nowhere, and I don't believe Fred Hill's ass went anywhere either. Fred Hill wasn't ever seen coming back into the holler, and everybody knows Freddie Boy, and he wasn't seen coming into the holler, but he was seen late that evening trying to get that ass out of the holler when police turned him around and sent him back down to where he lived. Said nobody's getting out of here. So, there you go. I think Fred and Laura's asses was right there the whole time. I think when Chad Arnold showed up, Fred and Laura and Cotton Simpson was all there. I think Cotton seen something that he shouldn't have seen. And he was a loose end that they needed to tie up. And boy, did they tie it up, right? Fred made sure that, he tied it up and got, and got paid, and got a good paycheck to boot, right? The couple $1,000 Cotton had on him at the time, he became unalived. All of it, and let's throw in the smokes too. Let's throw in, all them packs of cigarettes that probably lasted them a few days, as well. I'm going to tell you, I think they all got a dog in this race. That's my opinion. I'm going to keep it. I think Fred Hill's ass is lying about Andy being all over that road because he wants to put the focus on someone else because, his ass was the one there. His ass was there. Fred was there, and even if Andy was there, say Andy was there at, 3:30, between 3:30 and 4:30 that day. Say he was. Summer didn't come up missing until freaking 5:55, almost 6 o'clock. Right? Don didn't even get a phone call until 6:09. And Summer just posted just barely came up missing. So what the hell's that got to do with, what the hell's that got to do with 3:30 to 4:30? What has that got to do with 3:30 to 4:30? Absolutely nothing. Absolutely nothing. Just like that damn scream. Just like the Jody Sue made up fucking scream. It has nothing, no bearings on what happened to Summer at all. No bearings. Because at 4:30, Summer Summer's just barely coming out of the house, according to Candus Bly Wells. She's just coming out of the house to help Grandma plant some mother freaking flowers, right? Which ended up being cactuses. And cactuses ain't a flower. You know, in my book, they're not a freaking flower. They're a freaking porcupine that can mess you up. And I don't know why people want to plant them, to be honest with you. You got to be damn sadistic to be planting up some cactuses around where children are. I mean, I don't even want to take the risk of a child being poked on a cactus, right? That's, and to be honest, in another honesty, I've got to say, I think they're ugly as hell. I think cactuses are ugly. I think they're like one of the ugliest plants I've ever seen. Just saying. That's my opinion. I just don't like them. I don't like them. Haven't ever liked them. You know, I like rose bushes. They're pretty. And they got beautiful flowers on them. And you know, and you plant them outside, out of the way, out of the way of children and so forth and so on, you know. And I'm going to tell you something about a rose bush. I think we all, every last one of us, as children, we all had those balls that bounce. You know, they sell them at every mother freaking grocery store in America. You know, the big kickball. We use it for kickball, volleyball, whatever. You know, I think they're like a 50 cents, $1, $2. Sometimes at the end of summer, you can get a whole handful for nothing, because they want to get rid of them. But I think as children, we all had those things. And we all know that when you kick it, when you're playing with your friends, you kick it or you hit it, and it smacks the rose bush, well, there went the ball, right? There went your ball. It's gone. And, kids know better. They know better. You don't have to touch that rose to understand you better not. Look at what it just did to your ball. Went completely flat. Right? You ain't going to touch that. But something about them cactuses, you just go to move the pot. Like, a lot of people put those things in a little pot and they sit them in their windowsill. And if you just go to touch the pot, man, and that sucker touches hits you in the thumb or something, you're going to be, hurting. You're going to be hurting for hours, maybe a couple of days, if you can't work that, whatever that thing is, up out of your finger. It's like, I don't know. It's like, it's like one of them headaches. It's like one of them fucking headaches, that it's there, but it's not there. It's just enough to bug the hell out of you. A twitching eye, just enough to bug the hell out of you. And sometimes, sometimes that's worse than just, like you get stung by a bee, right? And at first it hurts, and then you get the stinger out and you clean it up and you don't feel nothing anymore. And I think like the cactus thing is worse than getting stung by a bee, to be honest with you. Because, it's one of those things that that's there but isn't there, that just irritates the hell out of you for hours or days. That's my opinion. I don't like them. And who lets a 5-year-old kid come out and plant a cactus? Who brings a little 5-year-old baby out to plant one of those things? Take a look on the screen right there. Take a look on the screen. Who, me? You talking about me? Yeah, Candus, we're talking about you. I don't think Summer planted a cactus. Personally, I think those cactuses were already there, been there for a long time. I think they probably, I think what I believe is they freaking sprayed some water or got some fresh rocks and throw it on top of that. And tried and probably put a toy of Summer's that she left laying around in there and lied. I think they, Candus probably got those 2 toys when she went down the basement. She probably got them 2 toys, came back up, went out there and put them in there then. To try to act like, Summer was out there planting flowers. I don't know, just saying. Or maybe it was, maybe it was left in the seat of Grandis's vehicle and they needed somewhere to put it, so they just put it in a pot, right? It was too late to throw them in with Summer, to throw them in the black tote Candus was talking about. That's just my opinion. That's my opinion.
Do you know if they're home? And he said, well, their truck's not there. And so she turned around, walked back down there and got in her truck. Didn't even knock on the door or nothing.
Wow. Y'all feel like the...
Oh, so, and what time was that?
I think he said it was about 3:30 or 4, probably about 4:30, something like that.
And here's another thing. If Chad Arnold's meeting up with Candus at Fred and Laura's house around 3:30, 4:30 in the time frame, how in the hell is Andy? How is Andy on the road if Laura and Fred ain't there and Chad Arnold is there meeting up with Candus? How is Fred going to be there to see Andy, even if Andy was there? That's what I'm saying. These people want to jumble our minds up. They're a bunch of liars working together to jumble up our minds. A bunch of different shit. A new day, different shit. That's what it is. They want to keep you focused on their bullshit, so you ain't focused on the truth. There you go. And, this is how they've been getting away with it. This is how they've been getting away with it. It's keeping you focused on all of their bullshit, all of their different fucking stories, instead of the truth. I'm going to tell you, I think the truth is coming from other people. Like the people that said that Fred was not ever seen coming into the holler while they were searching. And they would have noticed if he did, but he didn't. He's lying. The only thing he was seen doing is trying to get out later that night. About 8:30 that evening, and got sent back to his house. That tells me Fred didn't ever leave out of that holler that day. And also, as I said, I've also found other stuff that will stabilize that. It will stabilize what I'm telling you. So it's all bullshit. It's bullshit. I think that Candus did go down to Fred's place. I believe she did meet up with Chad Arnold down there because Chad Arnold, you know, digs graves and his family, the Morlocks, dig the graves. And I think Chad knew they could go over there and put that tote down in that grave site and cover it over, and then the vault would go in. The vault would go in on top of that. And no one would ever know the difference. They're not going to go over to a graveyard looking for a missing child's body down in a freshly dug grave. That's my opinion. And I think Fred Hill and Laura was right down there. I think there was more people down there than just Fred and Laura and Chad Arnold and Cotton Simpsons. I think there was more people there than them, to be honest with you. And I think that these people, these people were the ones that didn't want to, stay silent, like Cotton Simpson, had to go. Had to go. That's just my opinion. I'm going to tell you, I'm not angry. I'm not angry about Summer's case. I'm not angry. I think that, I don't think you are either, to be honest with you, Nicole's. I don't think that you're angry either. I think you're just super hurt. You're basically, sometimes you need to search ourselves because, the Bible tells us to slow to anger. I guess it's okay to be angry because God says to be slow to anger. But I don't think we're really angry. I think we're really super hurt that the 5-year-old little girl could be done like this, and law enforcement, doesn't give a damn enough to solve her case. I think we're hurt that evil fucks in this world could destroy a little child like that, right? That there is an evil we don't understand that can actually destroy 5-year-old little children, do horrible, ugly, sinister stuff to children 2, 3, 4 years old, maybe even younger. I think we're really hurt that kind of evil exists in our world, but we're even more hurt that law enforcement ain't got enough ass to clean it up, right? To do something with it. That's what they get paid for. I think it's just a really deep hurt that we're, mistaken for anger. It's mistaken for anger. And, we don't need to get angry. I'm sure God is angry enough for us all. I'm sure that God Almighty is angry enough for all of us to see what's going on down here in this world today. And I think we could find a lot of peace in that. I think we can find a lot of peace knowing that, this is God's call, not ours. This, he's the one. The Bible says, vengeance is mine, saith the Lord. Vengeance belongs to God. It belongs to Jesus, the Son, not to us down here. And I'm not trying to seek no vengeance. I'm just trying to seek righteousness for Summer's sake. I'm just trying to, do what we can to figure out what these sick people did with this little girl so she could be found, brought home, and justice could be served, right? And I'll tell you, justice will be served. It will be served, whether it gets served today or it gets served in the future. It is going to get served. No doubt in my mind. If you're evil enough to know where a 5-year-old missing little girl is that needs to be found, and if she's no longer with us, laid to rest in her own space, so her brothers could visit up and get closure so they could live a normal life. They're still young. They've got a long life ahead of them. These old fucks that have, all these evil ass people are old. They're all freaking stinking old. They done lived their damn lives. Why can't they let these little boys get closure so they can live their life as well? How can you be so evil that you'll sit there and let 3 little boys continue to live through hell? Not that they haven't already been through enough, but to continue to live through hell, not knowing what happened to their little sister. Sitting there believing that it's possible that, it was their fault when it wasn't. How can you sit there and let these boys do that? Now that might lead us a little bit to anger. Knowing that there is people that sinister, that sick, that selfish, that mother freaking cowardly. Yeah, I said cowardly. Right? Big yellow streak down their back, going from the back of their neck clean down to the crack. Right? Big yellow streak. Pure cowardness. To stand up and speak out for a 5-year-old missing little girl so her brothers could live a normal life. Let me tell you something. It'd be a cold day in hell before I would be that cowardly. If I knew anything about a 5-year-old missing child, anything at all, I'm going to stand up and I'm going to call it out. I don't give a damn. I don't care if these people are evil enough to do that kind of dirty shit. I'm going to stand up and I'm going to call it out. I'm not afraid of them. I'm not a 5-year-old little girl. I'm a grown-ass woman. These are grown-ass men. Jody Sue's a grown-ass woman. Andy Bernard's a grown-ass man. Fred Hill's a grown-ass man. Laura's a grown-ass woman. What the hell are they scared of? What are they scared of? They need to stand up and they need to start calling out the truth for little Summer Moon Utah Wells. They need to call out the truth for her. Are they afraid of Dom Wells? Are they scared? Are they scared of Dom Wells? Are they that afraid of old Donnie Boy and Candus, who have to use everybody else to do their dirty work because they ain't even got enough ass to do it themselves? Really? Seriously? Come on. You got me bent.
With the boys.
Okay.
Not that.
Okay.
With the boys.
Okay.
Not that.
Right there, she tells the truth. Right there, she tells the truth. She thought she could slip it in on him as a joke. Her and Don loves to do that shit. They love to do that shit, and then they love to call people and laugh about it. Right there. Listen to Candus. Who went into the house, Candus, and who didn't? On June 15th, 2021, Candus, when you guys arrived back at that house, who went into the house, Candus, and who didn't?
Okay. With the boys. Okay. Not that.
With the boys, not Summer. With the boys, not Summer. There you go. Summer didn't ever go in that house, you guys. Summer was out there in the back seat, propped up. Those boys came out. They grabbed that food. They thought their sister was, they seen their sister. They could see she was in the vehicle. And they just assumed she was getting out. They assumed she was getting out, just, you know, and running around like everyone else. And they grabbed that food. They went back into the house. They was tearing up that food. They was tearing into it, went back to their gaming and everything. And Candus went in, made sure that they were all occupied, didn't notice if Summer came in or didn't come in. She made sure they were tearing through that food, and she checked them out and walked that ass back out, went back over to old mommy and told mommy to keep an eye, put her phone on the back of Domwell's fucking truck after getting her phone call from Marlena Crawford. She got a phone call from Marlena Crawford. After the phone call, she mother freaking gets in that vehicle and takes that ass right down the road to where Chad Arnold was waiting up at Fred's. Well, Chad wasn't there yet because she was sitting down there waiting on him. Fred and Laura was down there. Here comes Chad. Probably he has the other guy with him, right? Cotton Simpson. He's probably got Cotton Simpson with him. And here him and Cotton Simpson show up. Candus follows them out of the holler. Maybe Cotton got out, you know, seen what was going on. Maybe Cotton hung around at Fred's house instead of going with Chad and Candus. Maybe he went over to the cemetery with them. I don't know. I doubt it. I think that he probably stayed down at Fred's place, probably talking to Fred about, oh my gosh, what the hell did I just see? What the hell did I just see in a box? And Candus follows Chad out of there over to the cemetery. They put Summer down in there. And Candus comes back, goes up on the hill, and gaslights the hell out of those boys into believing that Summer was in the house. That she called her out to plant flowers with Candus and sent her and brought her. And didn't you hear me holler, watch your sister, because she was coming back in? Where is your sister now? And them boys like, we don't know. We ain't seen her. We don't know. She must went down the basement. Play with her toys. She must went somewhere else. We didn't see her. Candus goes down, acts, like she's looking around, whatever. That's why she didn't know if that door was open or locked. It's because she fucking didn't check it, because she didn't care about checking it. She didn't need to check it. She already knew what happened. That's my opinion. I'm going to keep it. I think if everybody wants to know what happened to Summer, she wasn't with us no more on the milk jugs. Summer was taken that morning. They used Grandma's knee to take Summer into Kingsport to pick up Hunter, because that's what they was really looking to do, is pick up Hunter, go to that swimming hole, and destroy that little girl, because she was really sick. Something was wrong with her, and their asses didn't want to go to prison because of whatever was wrong. And that is it right there. That's end of story. They done had it all set up. Don already was driving the vehicle with an extra alibi. Andy Bernard was driving a vehicle with an extra alibi. These people all set themselves up because they all knew what was going down. Jody Sue's lying about a fucking scream. She's even got her son lying about it as well, right? They're both lying. She's got Candus giving her money. She's got Candus handing her, half of everything Candus is getting because of the scream, for the scream. And then, when they figured out the scream didn't do nothing but make them look like an ass, well, they cut Jody Sue's money off because she wouldn't change the time frame to keep them from looking like the ass they was looking like. She was an hour fucking off, right? She's a whole hour off from the scream because these people ain't good at what they do. They're not good at what they do. And if I was a detective or law enforcement, this case would have been solved. And that's the truth. If I was working in Hawkins County, and had some type of authority inside that law enforcement down there, this case would have been solved. I would have told Pruitt, you either get on board with the truth or you get the hell on out of here. And we'll find someone that'll sit in your seat that will get on board and understand, comprehend what the hell's going on here and get this child and this case solved. Right? If you can't comprehend what's going on here, then you got to go. Because this case has got to be solved. You can't sit around and hang the phone up on everybody that's calling in to give you tips on what possibly happened to this child. You need to, you're supposed to be taking those tips and following those tips. Every lead that comes in, you're supposed to follow it. Not that mother freaker. You call in with a lead and he hangs up the damn phone. And if he ain't even going to listen to the lead, how the fuck is he going to follow it? His ass needs to be fired, if you ask me. I think Pruitt needs his job terminated because of the way he's treating the people out here who's paying his damn paycheck. We, the taxpayers. He hangs up on everybody. He hangs up on everyone. Funny he didn't hang up on Andy Bernard, right? He didn't hang up on old Andy Bernard, but he hangs up on everybody else. There you go. He hung up on Australia. He hung up on PG. He hung up on Ziggy. He hangs up on everybody when his ass is supposed to be listening, not hanging it up. I think he needs to be investigated. That's my opinion. And that ain't, and hanging up on people ain't my opinion. That's the truth. That's the truth. That's what he does. He's not doing his job. No. That's why Ronnie Lawson said, ask Candus and Dom Wells what took 4 damn hours for them to call 911. Because Summer was not seen in the vehicle. Summer was not seen moving in the vehicle anywhere. She was not seen moving around in the vehicle at Walgreens. She was not seen moving around the vehicle at Sonic's, and she was not seen moving around in the vehicle at the store. She was not seen moving any time after the swimming hole. Summer was not seen moving inside the vehicle. That's the truth. And Candus damn knows it. That's right. We the people pay. We the people pay law enforcement to do their jobs. And we, the people, when we call in to give a lead, they're supposed to listen and they're supposed to follow, and instead of hanging up on you. They're not supposed to hang up on you. I don't know what is wrong with that dude, but I'm going to tell you what, he ain't doing his job, and therefore, you know, he shouldn't have one. If you're not going to do the damn job, then you don't deserve the job. Right? That's common fucking sense right there. I think that them people in Hawkins County just too damn old. I think they're too damn old to be doing the job. They want the paycheck, but they're not doing the job. You know, if they need a dust buster, they need a motherfucking dust buster, then they need to go. You've been sitting around that long, letting dust collect on your ass to the point you need a dust buster, then you got to go. That's it. There's no footage. There's no footage. Matter of fact, I called a couple of the places, and I'm telling you, no. That's true. If law enforcement came out and told the fucking truth, they tell you that no, Summer was not seen. No movement of Summer was seen at any of those particular places on video. Absolutely not. But they won't come out to tell you the truth, because that would be admitting that they didn't do their fucking job right. That would be admitting that they dropped the ball. They dropped the ball instead of interrogating the shit up out of Hunter and getting the answers that they needed. You know, what law enforcement should have did is they should have went to that ball field where Hunter was and picked him up and took him in. They should have took Dawn, Candus, and Grandis in. They should have separated them all. They should have took them all in to law enforcement. I would have even separated the oldest boy from the younger boys. I'd have told my officers, there better be 5 of you mother freakers real quick. Start putting these people in your cars and taking them in. I want these boys separated. The 2 younger ones put into one vehicle, the older one put into one. I want Dawn, Candus, and Grandis separated, put in different vehicles, and I want them all took in right now for detectives to interrogate. I also want this boy Hunter that was with them earlier today picked up and taken in as well. And I want every last one of them interrogated. I don't give a damn if it takes all night. You interrogate them until we get the truth. That's what I would have done. And as soon as I heard that Candace Wells met up with Chad Arnold at old Freddie Boy's house, I would have picked him up and his ass would have been in there getting interrogated as well. And I'm sure out of all these people, somebody's going to break. Somebody's going to break. They're going to start crying and they're going to break down and tell the damn truth. More than likely, it would have been Hunter. More than likely, Hunter would have broke. Especially if law enforcement came in there and said, look, this woman over there, she's really running her mouth. Is there anything you want to tell us? Because the first one, first one to talk's first one to walk, and she seems to know it. What do you know that you need to be telling us right now? Because we're giving you an opportunity. And I bet you 10 to 1, he'd have told it all. He'd have told everything. And we wouldn't be sitting here right now. That's my opinion. Because if you remember, he came out and said, what the hell am I supposed to do? Just live with this the rest of my life? I'm supposed to live with this? What do you think he was talking about? I'm going to tell you the one thing I know is the longer you have to live with the secret, the easier it becomes. Especially when you got a whole lot of evil support. A whole lot of evil support. Reminding you to keep your mouth shut. That is the thing to do. You want to be a gangster? Learn to keep your mouth shut. You want to be hard? Learn to keep your mouth shut. You want to be smart? Keep your mouth shut. And that's what that boy was hearing. That's what he was hearing. But Candus tells you right here who went in the house and who didn't.
Okay. With the boys. Okay. Not that.
Not Summer. You can hear her plain and clear.
Okay. With the boys. Okay. Not that.
Not Summer. Right there, she's, right there it was a fucking joke to her that Summer was in the vehicle, didn't ever get out. It was a damn joke to her because she's evil as hell. What happened to Summer didn't bother Candus at all because she didn't like Summer being the spotlight anyway. Let's remember who was sleeping between Dawn and Candus, because that's what was coming between Dawn and Candus. And with that gone, you get that out from between them, and they ain't nothing between them anymore, right? Candus gets to be right where she fucking wants to be. She wants to be next to Donnie and no one else. I'm going to tell you something. That baby shouldn't have ever been in the middle of you and Donnie, Candus. You bitch ass mom, you should have been taking care of your little girl. Your little girl should have been in her own bed, safe and sound and asleep. I think you were a big enough girl. I think you was a big enough girl to handle Donnie if you really wanted to. Hell, I'm not even that damn big. But I'll tell you what, they'd be hell to pay. Hell to pay. Don't even look at my little girl. Don't even mother freaking look at her. Don't look at her. You best not even turn your dirty fucking eyes that way. You don't even know how someone can let someone do what that man has done. And I truly believe he did it. The 911 call proves that he did. That 911 call proves that he did. No doubt in our fucking minds what he was a-doing. Who in the hell? Who in the hell? What mother allows a son of a bitch to do that? What mother allows it? This
I want
one.
to keep doing me so I can do my boys.
You keep doing you, bitch. You keep doing you. You keep doing you, and you won't be doing your boys. We heard you was doing your boys, right? We heard you were, according to Jinkies. Yeah, you were as sick as your old man. We heard from what Jinkies tells us, you was doing your boys. Or your old man was doing your daughter. How fucking disgusting is that? How disgusting is that? You both, from what you told Jinkies, Candus, not Donald, not just Donald, you both had SA charges against you. Both of you had SA charges against you. What the freak? Right? They both of them. She gonna do her boys. She just wants to get her boys back so she could do her boys. How disgusting is that? Who in the hell lays around? Who the hell lays around with their sons? Who does that? That's disgusting. That is like make you want to upchuck disgusting. You don't get no nastier than that. You don't get no more disgusting than that on the face of this earth. You just don't. You absolutely don't.
Yeah, Summer will always be here with me. No matter what anybody says.
You know, and I don't like saying this, and I don't want to say this at all, but I have to put her on the side and worry about the boys because they're still here and still living and
still here and still living.
About the boys because they're still here and still living.
Wow. She knows exactly what happened to Summer. She knows exactly what happened to Summer. And law enforcement knows it. They know it. Why ain't they doing something about it? Why are they not doing anything about it? And how, anyhow, can people support? How can anyone in this world support her? How in the hell can anyone support her? And Day sitting over there. Candus this and Candus that. And Candus. I'm going to tell you something. Jinkies don't have nothing to do with Candus. Jinkies looks at her as the filth she truly is. Jinkies like, oh hell no. I am not supporting this shit. This is too disgusting. This is too gross. This is too unclean. Even for Jinkies. I mean, this is a woman that sits over there and has banana contest, right? To try to get a date. She talks about some really disgusting stuff and does some really disgusting things as well. For real. Like super unclean, if you ask me. And even she don't want nothing to do with this. Now, when you take evil like that don't want anything to do with this, it's got to be super fucking evil. That's all I'm saying.
I have said this since the beginning to people that made a difference. That I've told people about having the dream that I've, in the open grave. It's been told. It's not a lie. And I have heard my whole life that the best time to get rid of somebody is when there's an open grave. The dude was buried on what day? The 18th? Okay, so 3 days after Summer went missing, they buried that dude. Do you think they dug the grave the day that Summer went missing? I'm saying it was dug between the day the dude died and the day Summer went missing, the 11th. Not if she went over there on the 15th when Candus left at some point in time off that fucking hill, took her over there. Maybe she went to Fred's and Fred helped her. If it was on the 15th, all she would have had to do is.
Maybe she went to Fred's and Fred helped her. Oh, Andy, I think you are absolutely right. I really do. I think you're absolutely right there. I really do. And that's why Fred wants to put you on the road. Don Wells on the road. He wants to put everybody on the road but himself. Right? Fred don't got no alibis. He ain't got no alibi for where he was that day. No receipts, no alibis, no shit. Don's got an alibi, 7 of them to be exact. 7 alibis. Because he had his cowardly ass at work while all of this was going down. Andy the same way. He had that ass at work. Well, it all went down. They were protecting themselves. Fred was hanging out in the breeze, right? He was in the breeze. He was flapping like a windshield wiper in the fucking breeze. And he knows it. That's why he's making all kinds of shit up. But I truly believe when Candus went down there, they were there. And tomorrow night, I will show receipts as to why I believe this. And I will show that I feel there's more people in this than meets the eye. I'm going to tell you, I don't know what the hell was going on up there, but there was something very sinister going on with a lot of people involved. And I've always thought that from the beginning of this case. I've always thought that it went, it went farther than just Don, Candus, and Grandis. This was not isolated enough. And I think, to be solved. It was not isolated enough to be solved. Trust me, if it had just been Don, Candus, and Grandis, this case would have been solved yesterday. But it ain't solved. It ain't solved today. And it won't be solved tomorrow. Why? Because it's coming off of that hill. This case is coming off of that hill. A lot of people surrounding it. A lot of people are surrounding this case. Who are those people? Who are those people? Well, I think I know at least one more. That's my opinion. I think I do know that. Right? Fred had no job. Fred had no job. And Don Wells said Fred Hill would do anything for $1, and I truly believe it. $5 is a lot of money to Fred. I mean, Fred would show up at your place wanting your gas can just so he could get into town and back, right? It's just so he could get into town and back. He wants you. I mean, your gas can was a lot to Fred. Jimmy said, I left my DNA on the like button for you, PG. Hey, I appreciate that, Jimmy. God bless. God bless. All right, you guys, listen. I think we've heard enough. I think we've heard enough. I think that Andy Bernard wants Summer found. I think he knows, and I think he wants her found. To be honest with you. I don't, I think something changed. I think something changed in Andy when he got with that other woman. I really do. And I think that, I think he wants this, Andy, I think Andy might have a conscience. I think he may have a little bit of a I think he might be worried about where his soul's going to end up in the end of all of this. And I do really believe that, he's pointing out exactly where Summer is. And it needs to be looked into. It does. And law enforcement should be taking this seriously, and they should be over there making sure this little girl ain't down in that grave. And if she is, they need to get her out and start making some arrests. I don't think that's going to happen till the new sheriff takes over. That's just my opinion. I don't think Ronnie Lawson wants to open a can of worms in this area when he was trying to shut a can of worms just like this in another area. So we might see some arrest once the new sheriff takes over. That's my opinion. I'm going to keep it. And nobody was messing with law enforcement's telecommunications when they were out there. Inside of Ben Hill Road, it's really hard to get signals out there. And, the signals are all screwed up because there isn't enough, technology brought into the area that you need to, to be able to handle, a steady signal for Wi-Fi and everything like that. So that, that was the problem. And, and even though they bring in, even though law enforcement brings in, extra equipment to try to make up for, the loss that, happens so frequently in areas like that. It doesn't always, it doesn't always pick up like it should as well, so nobody's messing with anything. It's just that, this type of technology ain't, they ain't got it completely down, to the science yet. And that's the problem. Yeah, they do. I agree. And, and we're doing everything we can to even maybe bring in outsiders to maybe, try to bring in outsiders to do something. But you can only do so much, you can only do so much. But I think, I think we got a lot of people scared. I think we got a lot of people worried up that Morrison Cemetery is about to get, is about to get the equipment over there that it's going to take to penetrate that ground and find out if there's anything down under there or not. I think they're really worried. They're shook. They're definitely shook. And if I was them, I would be shaken. Because if they find this little girl, these people are going to prison. They're going to prison for, for the rest of their freaking lives. They're going to prison. Law enforcement ain't getting easier, it's getting harder. They better remember that we ain't got, we got Trump in office right now. We got President Trump in office who wants to see justice served, who is pushing to get real justice served on evil human beings. So it ain't going to be easy. And I'll tell you another thing. President Trump, he looks into these big cases like this. He has something to say about cases like this. If they find this little girl, you better believe that our president probably will come out and have something to say about the sentencing that needs to be served. No doubt. Nancy Grace will be out talking about what needs to be served. We got a lot of people, you know, it might not seem, like Summer's got such a big army. But I'm going to tell you, she does. She's got a MAGA force behind her. And it's like huge. It's huge. And she's got people in very high places, remembering her, talking about her. And are going to be right there to make sure justice is served for her. No doubt in my mind. Actually, yes, there's a PI. There's a PI that runs a channel out here. He's another one. I've seen him up there with, some of the top YouTubers that cover these kind of cases and so forth. And he's got a lot of pull. Actually, he is schooled. He is actually schooled in doing that himself. He actually can do it himself. He's took the classes. He has the equipment. He can get that done. And I have asked him to do it. He said he's going to try. Right now he's been covering a pretty big case for someone and helping another family, which, he gets paid to do what he does. And but he said, if he has anything, a window of time that he will look into going up there and doing that. So, I don't know. We'll see. I hope, I hope God opens that window. I hope the Lord opens that window. So he will go and get that done. All right, you guys. PG's going to head out of here for tonight. But God willing, we'll be back tomorrow night. God willing, we'll be back tomorrow night, and we'll cover some more of this. Like I said, I got receipts. I'm bringing them. I'll show you that I feel there's more people in this, and it will show you that Fred and Laura didn't leave the hill. They didn't leave the hill that day. You know, they were right there. Andy wasn't, but they were. So wait for it. It'll be out here tomorrow night. But and I want to thank a friend of mine out here. He knows who he is. He has been a really good friend to PG, a very good friend to me. I love him and his family. They're just amazing. They're amazing. And he cares as much about this case, as much about Summer being found, brought home, and justice getting served as PG does. And he is a very, I mean, he's not always, he's not always in the chat and everything, but he always is watching. He's always watching. And I just want to give him a shout out and let him know how much he is appreciated in this true crime community, how much he is appreciated being part of Summer's army. God bless him. God bless his family. And may God be with them always and forever. Just like God, I hope he's with us always and forever as well. But I appreciate having good people who are so upstanding and righteous in this world. They're very hard to find, very hard to come by, but he is one of them. And I just want him to understand how much he is appreciated out here. So God bless him. And God bless all of you. God bless each and every one of you who are truly here for all the right reasons for this little girl. God bless each and every one of you as well. I so appreciate you also. Don't ever think PG doesn't, because I do. I appreciate everybody. It takes a village to raise a child, but it takes the whole world to find one when they're missing. So let's all stick together as one, as God wants us to, and continue to do what we do best. Figure out what happened. Try our best to get law enforcement to do their job. And let's get this baby found, brought home, and some justice served. Amen. And keep those prayers going up for Summer. Keep the prayers going up, you guys. I tell you, if we ain't got God, we ain't got nothing. We need God. We need God. God don't need us, but we need him. So keep those prayers going up for this little girl. Keep them going up for Summer Moon Utah Wells. Keep them going up for Michael Vaughn. Keep them going up for his mama. Keep them going up for her as well. She's going through a lot. Let us pray for her. Keep those prayers going up for Sebastian Rogers and his daddy also. And let's keep them going up for Jack and Lily Sullivan and the family surrounding these babies who truly loved them and miss them right now, like the grandparents, the biological dad, and all the family that don't know exactly what happened but wish they did. Let us pray for them. Let's pray for the Idaho Forest family. I know, the case is over and everything, but you know what? The hurt and the pain ain't gone yet. Probably never will be. Let us pray for them, that they find some type of peace and comfort in all of this tragedy. And let us pray for little Emmanuel. Let us pray for that baby, and let's pray he gets found as well. In the name of Jesus, amen. Good night, everybody. God bless. Much love.